So nice of you to join us this afternoon. A lovely, muggy day, Friday afternoon, Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, and everywhere. Our free iHeartRadio app. On demand wherever you get your podcasts, social media. I am at Scott Sands, at Scott Sands Media. Episode 2488 of the said Scott Sands Show, where Michelle MAGA means make afternoons great again. Michelle Pollino, Fox News Radio Entertainment Correspondent. You can find her on social as well. Happy Friday, Michelle.
Happy Friday to you.
MAGA taking on a whole new meaning this afternoon, or at least I'm trying to push that. I'm getting red hats made and everything.
Oh, my gosh. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I think I want a Maha hat. Make America healthy again.
Okay.
So.
You go the RFK way?
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I
like her. I like her. Like have you seen interviews with her?
Nicole Shanahan?
Nicole Shanahan. I didn't even pay any interest to her. And then did you see the Trump derangement syndrome ad?
Yes.
It is the single greatest ad I have ever seen in my entire life.
We need to reshare. I'll reshare that on socials here if you haven't seen it. Because, I mean, it's terrific.
Yes, it is. It is. It floored me, and I was just. She is just funny and smart and just amazing. I've become obsessed with her, and now I'm watching all her interviews.
We don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Did you watch any of the Harris Wallace interview? I was going to ask you to put your producer cap on for a second and tell me how much editing you think was done in that interview. They're trying to claim, she sat down for 50 minutes. No, there was about 50 minutes if you take 24 minutes of commercials out and the opening and the chit-chat. So I'm guessing they probably filmed, recorded, videoed about 45 minutes of an interview that was cut down to 15 minutes.
It's kind of extraordinary. First of all, the lighting was horrible. The style of the interview was strange. It looked like a deposition, not an interview.
Okay.
And I was just like, it was weird. And I just really, honestly, like, it was just so poorly lit. It was such an awkward frame. I really couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over that.
There would be much tougher questions in a deposition. No follow-up, no journalistic integrity from Dana Bash at all.
I don't know how anybody could take seriously the journalism profession any longer. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it seems like to me, like I walked away from that thinking to myself, the Democrats really don't know who America is anymore. They really don't. They only speak to consultants and internal polls. They don't actually speak to Americans any longer, and that is clear by the way she responded. And I really don't think they know who this country is anymore.
Yeah, sometimes I question that myself. Michelle Pollino in Hollywood, Fox News Radio Entertainment Correspondent. Let me ask you the latest from overseas, the Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. We're learning a little bit more about how the terror plot was foiled and how bad it could have actually been if successful.
Tens of thousands. They planned to kill tens of thousands. You know, it was about, they were doing it outside the stadium, and there were about 30,000 people supposedly gathering outside the stadium, 60,000 inside the stadium. So they were going to do this with bombs, planting bombs. And that's just insanity. Like, it's insanity when you think about it. Like, and it's a 19-year-old kid with two other kids.
Well, and we saw, Thomas Crooks almost, another 19-year-old kid almost assassinated former President Trump and had explosives in his truck. So I don't know how they're learning, I guess, on the internet, but it was apparently a success from the CIA and other intelligence agencies to thwart it.
Yeah, CIA did great work. They're the ones that notified the Austrian authorities. They're the ones that got in there, and it was because these kids were ISIS inspired, and that's how they figured it out.
Also sticking with music overseas, the Oasis reunion. If you're going to go, if you want to see the reunion, buy a ticket to the first show, because my bets are that it doesn't make it past show number 3.
I heard that bets are on. That they won't make it to the third or fourth show. That's what I hear.
There should be a betting market for this, because the Gallagher brothers don't really get along, and you're going to put them in a bus together or what? That's a recipe for disaster.
It's a total recipe for disaster, and I find it hilarious. I love the betting markets. I've been looking at it this morning. It's just hilarious. It just is.
And Oasis had a couple of. I don't understand how they got so big, and maybe I missed out on that little period in the 90s. I mean, obviously Wonderwall, they've got some great songs, but I guess at the time I didn't even realize how big they were.
I mean, a lot of people, Oasis hit right around the time that, I don't know, it was just like an extraordinary time in America in 1995. It was just amazing. Like 1994, 1995, 96.
Coming out of grunge, not really in the emo period. Yeah, I could see how that would work, I guess. The Kelsey brothers, I mean, they don't need the extra money, but they're getting a big payday with this new podcast deal for the New Heights.
Oh my gosh, $100 million for a 3-year deal for their podcast.
That's nuts.
I know. Like, when's our podcast coming?
Right.
Scott? When is the deal coming for us?
You know,
okay?
I remember when podcasting was just a bunch of nerds in a garage or in a living room putting on a show, talking about nothing. And sometimes they would catch on and maybe get a few thousand people subscribing to a podcast. Now you can't really expect to figure out a way to make money on a podcast unless you already have a lot of money to have a big name. And that's what's
true.
interesting.
That's the way it goes.
Podcasting started out as a grassroots movement. And now all the people who are already celebrities have a podcast, and some of them are really bad, but they're getting big paydays on it.
Getting big paydays. Big.
Just because of the name. All because of the name.
Yep.
You know who I wish would start a podcast? And I know you did a story about his new album. I would like Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is a fantastic speaker. He's got amazing stories. I bet he could do a hell of a podcast.
I bet he probably, I mean, him and Bunny. I really want to see him and Bunny
right?
Do a podcast, because that's just cuteness rolled up into a big microphone. I did the story this week. His album will be out October 11th. Second album on a major label. Big time for him. Big time. But you're right. He would be really cool. It would be really cool.
I love that his song "Get By" is the college football theme for this year. Great timing for the network to pick that up too.
Let's do it.
Music-wise, rumors about final tours for Bruce Springsteen, and it is the final tour for world famous ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra.
Yep, Springsteen put those rumors to bed because he was like, "Nah, there's no way we're." I think the rumors started because of his health. His peptic ulcer, then he had some voice problems, and I think that's when the rumors started, but he put the kibosh on that. However, ELO just kicked off their final tour. Jeff Lynne was like, listen, we ain't coming back. This is it. Have some fun. That was it. And kicked off in Palm Desert.
I think that there are certain bands that I'm glad recognize. You go see Chicago now, and it's still a fun show. I'll go see Chicago when they come through this year. But there's like one guy who was like third cousins to one of the original founding members' brother.
Agreed.
They're just tribute bands. At some point, set it aside.
Set it aside, kids. We're done. We're done.
Country star Shania Twain getting a bar in downtown Nashville. What do we get to throw from Shania Twain's bar?
Beats, please. Yeah, her and it's already down there. Apparently, it's Gavin DeGraw's bar.
Oh, is
his
it?
brother? But yeah, so
he's licensing the name.
I think so. Yeah, no word yet on what's going to happen.
Yeah, I should. I'll text Gavin and find out about that. I love him, and his brother's terrific too.
Yeah, no, he's yeah.
Michelle Pollino in Hollywood. Find her on the socials at Michelle Pollino, Fox News Radio Entertainment correspondent here on the Scott Sands Show. Let's talk about some of the films, and I know there are a couple of biopics that look interesting that are in the works, but the one that's opening this weekend, I hope it's accurate, and I do want to see this, the Reagan film with Dennis Quaid as Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it myself. I just saw a featurette of it. It looks amazing. Really a love story, and it kind of corrects history because, you know, nobody knows about Reagan because he's a conservative. The way that our country has been, it's really monopolized and just highlighted Democrats in film more than Republicans. And this is a well-deserved biopic about a man who had a vision for this country, and he kept going out at it, and the woman who supported him. And it's really quite special. So please get out and go see this.
So and this is told from the perspective of the KGB.
Right. Viktor Petrovich, a former KGB agent who followed Reagan from Hollywood all the way to the presidency. Really cool concept.
And I just saw, as I'm looking at an outline of it, playing the role of Frank Sinatra, Scott Stapp of Creed.
Oh, dang, I did not see that. Nice call.
That's a weird call. Other than Reagan, anything worth seeing in the theaters this weekend for Labor Day?
Yeah, Afraid looks good to me. Afraid is about a family who's been selected to test a revolutionary new AI home digital assistant, and then it turns into a horror film.
Ooh.
So it looks good to me. Yeah.
That's frightening and all too possible these days.
That's correct.
On Netflix, The Deliverance. I don't know anything about that. And Parallel on Paramount Plus.
Neither one. I wish there's just so many now, Scott. I don't know either one.
Monday on Netflix, it's Chestnut versus Kobayashi, unfinished beef, as hot dog eating rivals Joey Chestnut and Takeru Kobayashi compete once again live on Netflix since they were both kicked out of the July 4th Nathan's contest because Joey Chestnut endorsed a vegan hot dog.
I love this country.
Right? And a lot of college football. Texas A&M hosts Notre Dame Saturday night. That's going to be a big game. Big Ten Saturday night. Michigan, Fresno State. They could be an upset. There could be an upset alert against Michigan. Who's your team? Who's your college football team?
Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan. I love Michigan.
You got to watch you got to watch Sign Stealer on Netflix. I watched that Wednesday night when it dropped about the cheating that Michigan did and the reason their national championship should be vacated.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting.
It's a good documentary.
All right. All right.
Have a great long Labor Day weekend, Michelle, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it. Have a great weekend.
Love you.
All right, bye.
Continued warm and muggy tonight, down to 74 low, and we'll see the return of scattered thunderstorms overnight into tomorrow morning. Might mess with your morning plans tomorrow. Partly cloudy the rest of the weekend. A little bit cooler. High in the 80s, like 84, 85 tomorrow and Sunday. But a great start to the week. Sunshine and temperatures in the 70s by Monday.